Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto with adoption, showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Jesse needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z, about to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down, I got a wax account, you should say it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started. Yeah, I'm barely off the ground. Listing crypto, you cannot stop me. My hands are made from diamonds, your hands fall like gold without me. Never be the boss of me. Bitcoin's all I need. When I say I'm sassy, that's just me talking all day. Crypto and yum farm marketplace. I wanna see the more. We gotta go through cyberspace. Leave this world without a trace. Say pay for a different day, 'cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope you guys are having a lovely Monday today. I'm so happy to be back after a long week in Times Square at NFT NYC. Before we get started with today's show, as always, I'm going to shout out 3 amazing sponsors. First, we have Wax Blockchain, absolutely killing the game. It was great hanging out with the team at NFT NYC. Nifty Blocks, if you're looking to buy and sell some NFTs on Wax Blockchain, Nifty Blocks is the spot. Lastly, we have Ballet. Ballet is amazing. You can actually enter to win one of these epic Ballet wallets today. You will have to listen in for a key phrase or word from today's zesty guest. And whenever I feel, we're going to throw an NFT in the chat as well for you guys to scan and win today. So stay tuned for that keyword. And we're going to jump straight into today's guest, Denise Felipe Adams, Executive Director for the NYC Mayor's Office of Emerging Markets and Innovation. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling today, Denise?
I am great, Randy. Thank you for having me here.
It was so great meeting you at Security Token Summit, around a month back now. It's like time is absolutely flying. It was great to meet you, Eric Adams, and just see some representation from the city at these conferences. And I really wanted to just learn more about you because you're so interesting and you've done so much, especially as a woman, as a New Yorker. And I'm just so intrigued by you. So you're welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I would just love to know more about you. So I guess we could start off in college, right? So where did you go to college? What was your major?
Well, I'm a CUNY girl. I must say I'm definitely a city girl. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Of course.
And it was a pleasure meeting you, of course, on that day. And thank you for your enthusiasm. We love to hear the youth being innovators and their own leaders and just taking the step forward and the risk to really put out what anyone, especially what you're doing, what you're passionate about, right? And I love that you're educating the youth, young adults like you on cryptocurrency and all things digital asset. So back to your question, I'm a CUNY girl. I went to BMCC and Ashford University. I took business administration. I did a little bit of legal work as well. There's a school that I went to, New York Paralegal School, which is closed now, which led me into work in law. Wow. And I also have a degree in business administration and a degree in psychology. Nothing to do with tech, but definitely observing people's behavior, energy, business. And I just love to network and connect people together and definitely help constituents. So there's room for learning every day and just expanding one's desire to just evolve, right? So that's what I do.
So you were actually interested in maybe being a psychologist?
There was a time in my life, yes.
Wow. And
the great thing about that is that I just really learned to just tap into myself and get to learn myself a little more. And then my reaction to other people's behavior around me, just observing from different dynamic. My cultural upbringing was a little probably similar. People can relate to my cultural upbringing, but most importantly, I needed to identify who I was and who I am every day, right? And I wanted to understand how to put definitions to it, and then also just think out of the box. So psychology definitely helped.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. I was actually taking a few college courses while I was in high school about psychology because I just thought it was so interesting just how people's minds worked and how we all kind of like react to different things and we just don't even realize, but like we're all very similar in one way or another is what psychology kind of taught me. And then you kind of went like the law route. So like what kind of drew you into business and law?
Well, I worked in construction for a little bit and for a couple of years. And what drew me into law was really just my cousins and family members who worked as paralegals. And it was just like my backup, like backup just in case I need to have work. But I'm always driven, and anything that I put my mind to, I like to tap in and learn everything. So I wound up working with this wonderful judge who was, may he rest in peace. He was the first Black senator here in Brooklyn. His name is Honorable William C. Thompson. He was the first Black senator. He worked with Bobby Kennedy.
Wow.
He was the first Black appellate division judge in the second appellate division here in Brooklyn. And he's very inspiring. Like I said, he was like a father figure to me, a mentor, a great leader. I always felt safe with him. And he actually exposed me to politics. His son was the first Black controller, Bill Thompson. He's the first Black New York City controller. And when he was running back then for mayor, that's when I tapped into politics and helped out and learned all things campaign. So that was many, many, many years ago. And that's how I got my foot into not only law, but also politics. It was like a duo.
Wow, that's an interesting story. You were actually a part of a lot of history, just like a lot of new representation within like the New York government. Like that must have been very like, interesting to see just how like people were kind of progressing in that mindset. Like, yes, like everybody, like it was just a lot more inclusive nowadays. I'm just so happy that like you were a part of so much history and just like bringing about like, like a different viewpoint, and especially because like you're from New York and you've just like kind of been a part of helping progress the city. What was it like entering politics as like a young woman? Like that must have been like, very interesting.
It has its ups and downs. It is very interesting. I believe I entered into politics in a moment where the old and the new was still trying to find a bridge.
Exactly.
And I felt the need to be a connector, hence why I used that word earlier, and find a way of building that bridge from both ends. Entering politics, especially my mentor, he's from that old school that we have to really unionize and get together and stick with each other. If they look like us and they sound like us, they're us, and we have to just, even if we don't like them, we need to just collaborate. That has the goods, the positives, the pros and the cons, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have the super young progressive who believe in fairness for all, there's space for all, and then me in the middle, where I'm trying to learn as much as I can from old politics and then still have my tenacity and my my craziness, right? Like things didn't make sense for me. So it was just a big Rubik's Cube, a huge Rubik's Cube for me. And then figuring out not so much where I fit in, because I don't care for that. I like to stand out, but figuring out where's my niche, what works best for me, finding out both spectrums, and then also building the bridge, right? The bridge is just one step at a time, laying down one brick at a time, and then also learning to pass the baton to other folks. And that's where I still find myself. I love to uplift and give opportunity to everyone. I love the fact that I've had the moments to have a seat at the table. It's as a woman of color, it's still hard to this day because old politics, you had to really know the right people to get into the door. Hence, me having a relationship with Judge Thompson, who opened the door for me. And he was a man of possibility. He exposed me to so much, and I owe all credit to him and other folks, of course. Through there is where I actually met in a King's Democratic Party event is where I met our now mayor, Eric Adams. I met him at an event. Yes. He saw me work in the room with so much energy and pizzazz. And I just wanted to meet people and learn this, because it's a game, it's kind of a game of chess. And my idea was to learn it, get inside people's head, and then seek the opportunity. It's still to this day, unfortunately, I have to say this, it's still a Rubik's Cube because there's a lot of favoritism, nepotism, a lot of hardship, a lot of the two extremes, right? There's two extremes. And it's like, where do you find an even balance? I consider myself a little bit of both, right? Right in the middle, very moderate. But I love the youth, and I love the energy of both sides. But I feel that we need to always stay in a place of momentum. There's a lot of elected officials who lost momentum. There's a lot of elected officials who are a little stagnant because they've been in office for way too long. And the community changes over the years, right? Every 5, 7, 10 years, the dynamics and the geographic of folks that live in certain communities, it changes. We're not in a place where we can really hand down the houses to our, children and children's children. We're in a place where everybody just wants to travel the world or explore or, gentrification or just move to another state and then come with a different initiative. So yeah, we're seeing whatever, when I started at this many, many years ago, I'm seeing the outcome of it now, even though I was able to say or envision this could go wrong or this could go completely right. So we're in a place that we're still, with the pandemic, it really threw us off. The energy is off right now with a lot of people, but then there is still good and right and progressives and just economical development. They're still good, right? There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. So we're still here in that, I don't know what to call it, in that crazy ether where we're still trying to figure it out.
Exactly. Like, it's really, I understand completely where you're saying, like, the community changes. Like, I walk around Park Slope, that community has changed a lot. Coney Island, a lot of places have changed. And, you having to find that balance is extremely interesting because we are in, like, a weird kind of place right now, just just the sentiment. But I do feel like New York as a whole, like, we're sticking together pretty well. And, a lot of people have just been working really hard in the city, and especially you, and being involved with the government, especially being special assistant to Eric Adams while he was borough president. You guys have really been working with the community. What was it like to work with Eric Adams during that time? And maybe for people that don't know, what is a borough president?
So the borough president, he was the Brooklyn borough president.
Yes.
So we represented all of Brooklyn. So I want to make sure that I say that clear. Yes, one of the best boroughs. So the Brooklyn borough president is a liaison, basically a representative for all of Brooklyn, for all the communities of Brooklyn. And when Mr. Eric Adams, when he was borough president, he did a great job to be a diverse voice for everyone, right? In the past, there's only been a specific group of folks that were represented. So the borough president, the responsibility of a Brooklyn borough president, they oversee the community boards throughout the borough. They allocate a lot of capital funds to schools or capital projects, parks. They work together. That office works together with constituency services. That means all agencies of New York City. If you need a representative because you have an issue with street parking, myself, or water or buildings or, Department of Buildings, and you don't know where to go, the borough president's office can serve as a more personable 311 type of service, and they'll hold other agencies accountable. The borough president's office, aside from concerts, ribbon cuttings, opening, exposing businesses, just so you know, I don't know if you ever visited Brooklyn Borough Hall, but it's a dynamic building. Just so you know, it's beautiful. It's historical. It used to be a courthouse many years ago. It's the only borough president's office that has its own freestanding building, and it's open to the public for you to host events there. So we have so many wonderful, amazing, fun events. We opened it up to everyone. So we had all these cultural events there. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of press conferences take place in the back part where the steps are. Yeah. There's always been a lot of rallies with the youth, a lot of rallies with a specific religious groups. and just everyone. It's a great place. There's a lot of skateboarders there. But the responsibility of our president. It's broad. That office works together with all city council from the borough, and it's really like a cultural hub for people to really find themselves. It's a place that you should, it's open to the public, but people should definitely visit it and see the history in the building, and then just learn and engage and be part of a community board, be part of volunteering there. You could do internship. There's a lot of youth internship over the summer. There's a lot of policy taking place. So we work together with outside government, with the state government, sister city governments. The borough, back then, Borough President Eric Adams did a lot of sister city agreements with people from China, from CLACNY, which was all the Central Latin American countries.
Wow.
Also with Turkey. It's very broad. It's a lot of responsibilities, but it's a great starting point for anyone who wants to get into politics or learn the responsibilities of any office, whether it's city council, mayoral office, or president's office, even the district attorney. I believe that's a great place. Assembly and Senate, that's a great place to start.
Absolutely. You definitely learn a lot. What was like a highlight you've had, like, or one event or one, big thing that you guys did while you guys were serving as the government of Brooklyn, I guess, right? So what was a highlight from that?
There was many highlights. I love the fact, like, for me personally, I love the fact that we opened up the building to so many diverse cultures.
Yes,
we celebrated everyone. Our office was the first office to do not only a LGBTQ, but separately, because I worked on this project, we did a trans giving, which was completely for transgender folks to come out and celebrate themselves during Thanksgiving season. And no one has ever done that just for a specific group, right? We've done all the hyphenated cultures. So whether you're Mexican American, Turkish American, Jewish American, we've done Arabic night, just all religions. We opened the door for many, please. A lot of Latinos who knew nothing of anything. And one of the highlights for me that I worked on also was we partnered with NALEO and many attorneys volunteer their time so that we can do a citizens drive. That was great. Like, wow. That took, like, for me to be part of that is amazing, because people only think that immigrants or people with green cards are only like Latinos. They're not. I was able to meet people from all diverse backgrounds, from Africa, from the Caribbean American, whether they're Trinidadian, Jamaican, Haitian, of course, Latino America, Indians, who came for free services that we gave them, legal services, so they can apply to become a citizen of the United States so that they can vote. And we did that in the weekend. I personally put myself there to make sure that everyone was taken care of, whether it was the attorneys who gave that free service or our office staff that was there to assist constituents who were lost. Like, I just enjoyed that time. That for me was a huge highlight. I was able to really meet a lot of wonderful people and then see that Brooklyn itself we're like the rainbow, the United Nations of all boroughs, right? So who wouldn't want to be in Brooklyn? You see all dynamics from this end to this end, and it's colorful, and tourists are not only in Manhattan, they come to Brooklyn, they go to Dumbo, they go to Brooklyn Bridge Park, Park Slope, have great restaurants, we have the Barclays. There's just so many highlights, Coney Island, there's so many wonderful highlights. So I made sure that when we had visitors that came internationally, like people from Panama, from Turkey, I had the privilege of working with a lot of the elected officials and dignitaries from other countries and their families. I had families here, their children, their spouses, that I had the opportunity to plan out a day's event, like 2 or 3 days event, and take them through Manhattan, through Brooklyn, take them to Statue of Liberty on ferries. That was highlights for me, to just expose people from outside and plan for them the great areas, even the bad areas, right? Like areas that are really highly attended. I took them everywhere and I exposed them to great places. So that's been my highlights. And also the pandemic, we worked throughout the pandemic. Our office did not close. We were remote for very little time, but the office was still open. That's when the borough president, then Eric Adams, moved into Borough Hall, and we were nonstop. We went, when everybody was scared to go out, we were delivering masks, delivering food, knocking on doors. We really exposed ourselves out there to work with all the constituents. I myself went a lot to Sunset Park, to Williamsburg, Bushwick, Brownsville, to be part of the initiative of delivering food, working with constituents, with seniors. Yeah, and those are things that people didn't really record us and see us on camera, but the work was getting done, right?
Absolutely.
And I need people to understand that maybe because you don't see us on social media, it's not that we're not doing the work. We were working nonstop, tirelessly, especially Eric Adams, the now mayor Eric Adams. People saw him everywhere. So yeah, the team, and it's not like a one-person thing. It's been a great team collectively from the team. Everyone's done their part. So that's how we are where we are now.
Wow, that's so good to hear. It's just like I literally feel like you know, the care in your voice and in your tone. Like you guys definitely care a lot, and just like, you know, knowing that you do all of this is just like it warms the heart a little bit, Denise. I'm not going to lie, because like it's really nice to know that you have been working, and I really like knowing that, you know, there's someone like you working in the city and trying to protect me and, like, you know, everyone else in Brooklyn, you know, while you were serving in the borough president's office. And that's just a really, wow. Like, you worked hard and relentlessly, and you're still working. So your title now is Executive Director of Innovation and Emerging Markets at the Mayor's Office. Do you mind explaining what that title means?
Yes, of course. So the mayor, this is a new agency, a new unit that the Mayor Eric Adams put together. So we're still getting a little acclimated, but you know, all things, it's pretty new, and our structure is still taking place. But I definitely want to tap into a couple of things where the innovation and the emerging market portion of it is so the mayor goes out, as you probably see and follow him. There's a lot of people who pitch things to him, who are in his ear, wanting to share ideas to grow the city or new businesses. And he's always delighted to have those conversations, but he's the mayor and he has a very tight schedule.
Yes.
So what he decided to do was to start this new unit, aside, not touch any of the other units, but start this new unit, knowing that I'm a people person. Like I love to be with people. I love to network. I love to innovate, right?
Yes.
And he has started this along with my colleague, Jonathan Solomons, and we have a little small team where those folks who pitch ideas to him, he sends them our way, right? So that we can have more time to sit with them and hear their business plan and ideas. And this is a lot of the private sector, has really not much to do with public. So the mayor was campaigning then, and he still mentions it now, where he wants to establish public and private partnership.
Yes.
And that's what our unit really does. We meet with these folks, we plan ideas, and I report directly to the mayor. And what we do give him is a briefing report of letting him know, without the bureaucracy of City Hall, we let him know directly our concerns, share the great pitches. We let him know if it's doable or not. And then from there, he takes that information and he gives that task now to the agency that it pertains to. So most of the things that we meet on, and the innovative and emerging market part, is a lot of cryptocurrency. I prefer calling it digital asset, all things blockchain, Web3, NFTs. Then we also have, you know, the cannabis portion of it. We have new businesses who want to do anything with education. Like, we just had a meeting recently of a great organization. I'm not going to name names, but that has to deal with dyslexia. And you know that you've heard before about the mayor being very dyslexic, and his youth not being diagnosed with it. So there's a lot of great pitches. One of the great companies that we also met that I really like is, and this is not really highlighted, is working with the disabled, especially the people who are visually impaired, blind, and there's new innovative technology to assist folks in the street, navigating the streets, right? Because they can't see. And right now we have just the old cane. In the borough president's office, we linked up with a Turkish company called WeWalk, which was great. We handed those out and gave a couple of freebies that was linked to your smartphone. So there's other innovative companies that are doing things in the private sector. They're doing it now. And it's more now the public portion of government is the exposure, right?
Exactly.
The companies are existing. They're doing their thing all over the world. So they want to establish a relationship and a good rapport with city government so that our exposure, what the mayor does is really put them out there and let people pick and choose if this is something that they want. There's not enough commercials or TV time or social media time to reach all the population, all the constituencies here in New York City. So this is an opportunity for people to meet with us, and we're able to put these great, innovative, new businesses. Most people look like you and I, right? A lot of women of color, a lot of young folks from all over the world with these great ideas. They pitch it to us, and it's amazing to meet with these folks and just put it in front of the mayor. Exactly. We're still planning out the next steps. To be honest with you, there's a few steps for us to internally to put together so that we can project the outcome of piloting a few of these ideas throughout the city. But right now it's all about visibility, exposure, putting it out there. So we're playing with a few great ideas, and definitely we'll be coming out of the Mayor Adams press conferences. So make sure to follow him and be abreast with the everyday ideas and press conferences with him. So you'll hear a few things. Just know that a lot of these companies meet with us, and we have the opportunity to really put in front of the mayor.
Wow, I really love that you guys did that, because I know there's a ton of people that must be reaching out all the time and a ton of good ideas that could really help people. And the fact that you guys are now have a separate unit to hear people out and just like want to just engage with people. I think that's just the most important part, is being able to actually just trust you guys and go to you and say, hey, like, this is what we could bring to the table and we could all help each other. I just really love that you guys are really pushing that community initiative and just engaging with the community. That's just like, especially like that's very crypto-esque, like in crypto, like community is everything. And just hearing that you guys care about the community as much as you do, it just, especially living in New York, like it makes me feel better. I'm not going to lie. It makes me feel better.
Glad to hear it. It's very heartwarming to hear that from people like you. Listen, the idea is that everyone wants to be heard, acknowledged, seen, and just, feel like we belong. And I really commend Mayor Adams for starting this unit and hopefully expanding. We look forward to having a few projects under the supervision of our unit. And more importantly, I would love to have young interns come in and see what we do internally and take them throughout the agencies of politics so they can understand as well before judging the internal work of elected officials, because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It takes a lot of grit, a lot of desire to do and be passionate. And then there's the policy side of it. There's a lot of people you don't see that are working behind the scenes to make sure that we put policy in place so that this can be helpful and beneficial to all.
Yes, there's so many components to government and everything. Like it's not one person that like makes the decisions. This is very much a group effort. It's just there's a lot to go through, and you guys are doing a great job so far.
Thank you.
Speaking of you doing a great job, let's continue you doing an amazing job on the show and pick out a cool key phrase or word for our friends in the chat to enter in order to win one of these cool ballet wallets.
Okay, so ballet wallets, the key word is vibrant.
Vibrant. I really like that. Oh my gosh. See, that's why I like you, because you're so vibrant. Guys, enter vibrant into the chat to enter to win one of these awesome ballet wallets. I'm super excited. I'll let you guys know who wins in the chat. Enter vibrant. Okay. So, being a part of, now you're a part of the mayor's office. Like this must have been a crazy transition. Wasn't that crazy of a transition going from the borough president's office to the mayor's office? I mean, it's probably a lot more responsibility, no?
There's a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of components to it's a huge office, right? Compared to Borough Hall, where the mayor had, when he was borough president, he had a staff of 66 people. Now he has, as mayor, over 3,000 people. So it's a lot of agencies over. I don't even know the actual number, because it's a lot of agencies that he overlooks. And yes, it's
insane.
It's a lot. It's been a lot, but it's been exciting. Something new you're learning, and it's like going to school or starting a business, or just that energy that you get when you're going on vacation or going somewhere new, and
Exactly.
you're looking forward to it. So that has been the energy here, where we're still all getting acclimated, and where their vision is there. We're looking to really expand and broaden, and more importantly, is leaving a legacy.
Yes.
Leaving a legacy behind, where we were impactful to the community and to several cultures and groups. We want to make sure that we impact people. So it would be shame on us if we don't impact folks, right? Even
Exactly.
like biblical term is, even if it's just one, but for me, I would love to really be impactful to the next generation, and just be inspiring to everyone to find their voice, find their niche, and be comfortable with who they are, right? And see how whatever gift you bring to the world, how that gift can impact others as well, right? It's passing the baton, something that I said earlier about. So yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is directly impacting the next generation, whether it's helping, the blind on the streets, because I know, especially in New York, like, it's packed. There's cars everywhere. There's driveways everywhere. And, there's a lot for someone to watch out for, especially, having a disability. It could be quite the challenge. So I really love that you're working towards helping people that are obviously going to impact the next generation. And speaking of, like, you saying that, you had to make a statement coming into office, Eric Adams did make quite the statement by receiving his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. But before we jump into that, what are your thoughts on, being a part of emerging markets and innovation? What are your thoughts on blockchain as a whole?
I love blockchain. I think the technology is great. I believe that we need to expand the education for more people to get involved and to understand what blockchain is. Right?
Yes.
Let's start there. I believe people are still confused of how that works. I love the transparency of blockchain. The fear that most people have is the hackability. Who owns the property, the information.
Yeah.
So we just need to do a little more marketing and putting the clear information out there, the safety of blockchain and the transparency of blockchain, right? And then also expose it. This is something I say to a lot of people. Look, nerds love this. Tech nerds, they love all things technology, and they love in the era that we're in, when it comes to all things digital, blockchain, Web3, NFTs, cryptocurrency, digital assets. This is their time to shine. And there's a time for everything. So I just believe that this is a great opportunity for everyone to just really dive deep and learn it, and see if it's for you or not. If it's not for you, it's okay. Technology is not for everyone. But blockchain itself, I believe that's the way of the future for us. And the mayor is looking forward to tapping in and hopefully having our own city blockchain, so that we can, he's been talking about it, so that we can be more transparent with, like, birth certificate, death certificate, marriage certificates, whatever, any ledgers that we can put there, so it can be a little more clear, so that we can stop with the internal and bureaucracy and the cumbersome format that we have now with these agencies, right? We need to go apply in paper and set up an appointment, and it's not clear what the next steps are for some of these agencies to get IDs or to get a copy of something. It's so cumbersome. Yeah. Some folks just avoid it. They just avoid it.
Exactly.
They don't know where to go. So I think this is a great place for the next generation, right? Like for us, for the New York City to really spearhead and being the trendsetters. the real
Yes.
trendsetters, right? Because New York City really is the capital of the world.
Absolutely.
When we set something here, it could start somewhere else. But once New York City puts their seal of approval on it, it just really expands it and makes it a trend everywhere. So yeah, we should go. We should definitely look into blockchain. Most people should look into adopting the blockchain technology.
Absolutely. I'm so stoked to hear this from you because yes, like there's so many, things that blockchain can solve, especially because of it's so transparent and it can help a lot of people. Especially because, a lot of kids are on the internet, a lot of kids are using so much technology as it is. I mean, even most of schooling is now digital, which is so crazy. So, blockchain integration just only makes sense. But I'm very happy to hear that you're just very, progressive on the fact that, yeah, like New York City, we're here and we want to be a player because a lot of people are saying, oh, like I'm fleeing to Miami. Like, nah, like New York, like, we are, the financial capital of the world as well. There's so many banks and traditional financial people here. I'm always by the NASDAQ building in Times Square. So, it's very interesting. And it's very positive to see that you guys are wanting to make a statement here. Especially like, do you see people transacting in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Is that something you see coming?
Eventually we are going to have to, accept it and just get used to it. I don't think we need to force anyone because nothing's going to take the place of the US dollar, right? The currency. We understand that. But as an add-on or an option, it's almost like using credit cards, right? Or using Apple Pay. I think that I believe that everyone should have their voice for it, and if they want to accept it, then accept it. Who am I to tell people what to do? If it's in your network and you are okay taking the risk, then everything in life is a risk, right? So if you're okay with entertaining it or using cryptocurrency, then by all means do it.
Let's spend away, my friends. Let's spend away.
We need to get in the culture. No matter what, everything needs to circulate. Energy needs to circulate. Currency needs to circulate. So however that happens, we cannot completely control. Everyone wants to control something. So we should be able to give people the option of using whatever they want to use and accepting whatever they want to accept, whether in business, if it's crypto or Bitcoin, it's time to really change, not so much change a game, but to adapt to new things, right? Give people the option.
Exactly. I totally agree. It's just only, it's what happens with time. I mean, we're not, riding horses anymore. We're in cars. A lot of people people don't even carry cash on them. They just carry, their debit or credit card. So things just have to circulate. That's just the way things go. Especially, Eric Adams, our now Savage mayor, accepting his first 3 payments in Bitcoin. Was that something that shocked you?
No, he's been saying it throughout the campaign. He's been saying it throughout the campaign. So, but the city, because city charter, we cannot pay. We are not there to pay in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So he had to, obviously, with the guidance of our CTO, Matt Frazier, he, advised him that he had to have a wallet and how he has to transfer his checks into that. So he did. The mayor transferred by law, we have to pay him with a check, and then he took that check and transferred it into Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and I think it was Bitcoin directly. Yes. And I believe everything starts with one leader doing something, right? All the trends is one person does something and then it becomes trendy. So I commend the mayor for doing that. I think that's a great way you need to be a person of action. You can't just say it. So he's been saying it throughout the campaign, and he showed it. He actually did it, and it's a market for him, and great, We're happy that he did it.
Absolutely. I thought it was pretty bold, and I thought, it was a great step by him to have the audacity to do something like that and make a statement. I really thank you so much for coming on today, Denise. Like, I had a great time speaking with you. Is there any, message that you would like to send to the New Yorkers out there, or just to the audience in general?
Regarding messages in general,
anything you would like to share, anything that's on your heart right now, anything that's on the mind.
Well, a couple of things I would want to share is be active, because we're actually, I believe tomorrow we're in election season this year. So I want to make sure that people, look at the candidates and make sure they go out and rock their votes. And also for the youth and everyone else, just get involved, expose yourself to new things and take the risk, learn technology, learn your place in this world, and don't be afraid to be who you are. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really throughout this chat, I learned a lot about you. And I really think that what you've been doing, since college has been very unique. And, you've always been on a grind. And I respect that more than anyone. I'm always trying to work so hard, but you really have worked so hard. And I really think that you were not that I think it was a fact. Like, you're a part of a lot of history, especially, now working with Eric Adams in the mayor's office. You've just worked so hard throughout your years, just getting to this point. And now you're directly working with the New York community in order to progress the city and just go in a better direction and help so many people. So thank you for that. Thank you for helping so many people.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. And you too. It is my pleasure, because people like you are exposed to people like me or my energy, and you're able to learn. So it warms my heart to know that I have been impactful, even though we don't personally know each other, that I've been impactful to you and or your followers or anyone around here. So that warms my heart to know that my duty here, my God-given gift, has been put to play, right? And to use, good use. So, and we're here to do more. Yes. I hopefully this won't be the last that people will see of me. It's just the beginning, and that folks, I'm approachable. I would love for people to come and hear us. I believe that you have my handles.
Yes.
Also, my IG handle is DFA4BK, because I ran for office too myself, and I wanted to know what it was to run, to do the work, and not to quit. So I would definitely say that to the youth and anyone who's hearing this message from any age group that you're in, because we have young adults who are looking to change their career, is find your voice, never quit, just be comfortable with what works for you, but just never quit. Right? Stay focused on what you want for yourself and what brings you happiness and peace. You choose you first, your vision first, and what brings you health, right? Anything that's disturbing your peace or taking you away from what your vision is, that means that energy is not for you. So I thank you, Randy, for having me here. And I love what you're doing as Miss Teen Crypto. We know there's a lot of trollers out there, but you're the authentic.
Yes, a lot of spam accounts.
Authentic person. And we want to make sure that you continue to do what you're doing. Shine your light for your peers and your friends and anyone who's following you and hearing your message. I thank you for, I want to, reinforce that you're doing a great thing.
Thank you.
And to evolve, right? There's more to come out of this. Yes. So thank you so much, Randy. I appreciate you, your team. I know your sister's part of your team.
Yes.
To her.
Yes, the whole fam. Thank you so much. It was so great to meet you last month. I hope I see you again. And I really thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know there's a lot going on in your life. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you everyone in the chat for coming. You guys are all amazing. I will be back tomorrow, guys. I have the zestiest guest coming on tomorrow. Denise is zesty. Tomorrow's guest is zesty. Everybody on the show is zesty. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. The theme song is coming back on, so get those dancing shoes on. I hope you all have a great day. And as always, don't forget to stay zesty. Peace.
Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto with doctors showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Jesse needs to be included. It's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z. Better change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down. I got a wax account, you should say it.